Here's Teddy making his way through the streets of New York and into my chair. Teddy, it's not your chair. I love you, my man, but it's not your chair. That is courtesy of troublemaker Jessica Cardoza. Hello and welcome to The Nerve. Hello and welcome to your Friday edition of The Nerve. I am your host, Maureen Callahan. We have a full roster of fresh cultural criminal offenses. Today, we welcome back a much requested fellow troublemaker who made his debut appearance about 4 to 5 weeks ago. And immediately you guys are like, when is he coming back? When is he coming back? He is back. He is back. We are going to begin with the latest tectonic power shifts within the British royal family. One of King Charles's top aides, one of his right-hand men, is stepping down, and he says he's just retiring, but he's only 59 years old. He's known as the Wasp, and the real reason that the Wasp is allegedly reportedly stepping down is in opposition of and a complete repudiation of what is known within the palace walls, within King Charles's offices, as Operation Thaw. The king reportedly, allegedly wants to welcome Harry back with open arms. The Wasp, we will tell you his real name, is against it, as of course is Prince William. Billy's going to talk to us all about it. Oh, I let it slip. It's Billy Bush. Billy Bush is here. And Billy is, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm still struggling with a bit of a cold. So if I do have a bit of a coughing spasm, please just bear with me. It's pretty much under control. We are also going to talk about Rosie O'Donnell. We got an anonymous troublemaker sent The Nerve some super exclusive audio of Rosie O'Donnell working out her return to the United States. She's been living in self-imposed exile in Ireland for political reasons, but now she wants back in because, there's a lot of money to be made and she misses being really famous. Let's get real. Also, an A-list actor is the subject of a bombshell BBC documentary with accusations that should level him. The Nerve will be all over it. Ton of stuff to talk with Billy about. And then we've got troublemaker art and feedback. And then we have an exclusive update, exclusive to The Nerve, with a source who came directly to us and said, that expose you did on that memoirist whose book seems kind of full of shit. Boy, do we have news for you troublemakers. And so we ask, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. If your makeup routine is feeling heavy, too complicated, it's taking too long to do, you're layering products on, trying to get a natural look, but that just gets cakey as the day goes by, try Miracle Balm by legendary makeup artist Bobbi Brown. This is a hero product. You can tap it onto your cheeks, your lips, anywhere you want to get that quick, glowy, sun-kissed look. And it makes your skin enhanced, a better version of you instead of covered up. It's especially great during summer when you want something effortless after the beach, a workout, or while traveling. The best part, it takes no time at all. Just tap and go. They've now launched their new foundation stick, which gives amazing lightweight coverage without feeling heavy at all. It blends naturally and still feels skincare forward. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for effortless routines. For a limited time, Nerve listeners are getting a free full-sized mascara on your first purchase when you use code NERVE at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com, use code NERVE at checkout. After you purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them you're a troublemaker and that The Nerve sent you. Welcome back to The Nerve, the much requested Billy Bush, host of the must-subscribe podcast, Hot Mics. I was very honored to be a returning guest last week. We spoke Amy Griffin almost front to back. And today, Billy, we've got a whole slate of offenders to go through with you.
Okay.
First up, Prince Harry and the Duchess of Despair and Endless Grievance. Now, since the Nerve covered Meghan's MasterChef Australia appearance, which I do want to talk to you about, this story is advancing rapidly. King Charles's top aide, this is a report published in People, which, this is, again, the Sussex's preferred outlet. Top aide, dubbed the Wasp by Prince Harry and Spare, is stepping down. Now, the reports are that this top aide, whose given name is Sir Clive Alderton, who has worked for the royal household for 20 years, he is 59 years old, which is young to be citing retirement as your official reason for departure. He also played a massive role in supporting King Charles as he prepared to ascend to the throne. We all saw Charles during that coronation, and to say he looked conflicted at best is generous. Alderton is reported, Billy, to be vehemently opposed to what is known in the palace as Operation Thaw. Operation Thaw is King Charles's plan to work Harry and Meghan back into the royal fold. Alderton thinks this is a huge mistake. Reportedly, he is there's Tom Sykes in the Daily Beast is reporting there is a division in the palace. There are the Doves who are fine with it, who think this is a smart play. And there are the Hawks, led by Sir Clive, who think this is a monumental mistake and a grave threat to the future of the monarchy. What do you think, Billy?
I think I love the name The Wasp,
I know.
When I think of The Wasp, I think of a well-heeled person from, somewhere in New England who, doesn't spend a lot of money, is tight with their cash. That's what I think about when I think. But this guy, I think Harry described him as, he was a link, charming, and arrogant ball of jazzy energy.
As ever with Harry, he's always got to get a shiv in.
What is that?
There's always some problem. This is the guy trying to get you back in,
But he sits on the committee, right, that oversees security and who gets what. And
is he on Ravik?
He's on Ravik. And so, they're supposed to review for someone of Harry's stature once a year to decide if they get security of any kind. They haven't looked at Harry in 7 years. I think, I don't think there's any love lost between the Wasp and Harry because he's not looking out for Harry, and Harry wants some damn security.
Oh, right. Excuse me. No. I'm completely screwed that up. This little cold I have is working on me. No, you're right. The Wasp does not want Harry back at all. But it seems that when Harry wrote Spare, the way he described him, he was hedging his bets a little bit. I just think it's remarkable. If the Wasp is stepping down, what that says to me is the Wasp sees which way the wind is blowing. And it looks like Charles is going to get his way. And Harry and Meghan will be welcomed back. They may not be working royals, but they'll be welcomed back.
And the Wasp, imagine the Wasp is so, he cares so much that the fallout continues. That the king does not reunite with his errant son. He's such a purist that he's willing to leave his incredible job at the right hand of the king in order to keep Harry at bay. I mean, don't you sort of go with the king on this one? The fact that the Wasp feels so strongly about it is, I don't know, it's a bit surprising. I mean, Meghan's, she's annoying, no question about it. But after all, that's father-son here, Wasp.
Father-son, okay. So I'm gonna hold up, which I read every week. Some of their reporting remains impeccable. This week's cover of the National Enquirer, Harry blows $60 million fortune, and he's staring down the barrel of a $63 million legal bill for the court case he just lost against the publisher of the Daily Mail, and he's staring down And he's staring down on top of that, Billy. The judge is going to rule how much of the Mail's publishers' legal costs Harry and his cohort have to cover. He is up against it. I find it interesting that he and Meghan are so willing to make nice at this moment in time.
I think he's always, well, listen, what's Harry's goal all along has been to have his cake and eat it too, to abide by what his wife wants, which is to have the royal title and to cut all kinds of deals over here, living as royals in America successfully. She can't stand the blowback that's received, but that's what she wants. And if Harry can make it work both ways, he's going to continue to try and do it. The one I think resisting him way more than his father is William. William is like, F no, dude. I have given my life. You know what this is. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. I think if it was me and my brother, as much as I love him, I'd kind of be pissed too. Like, no, you don't get to run around as a royal and cash in on all kinds of deals as a royal and not, give up and not sacrifice for the gig. So I think that's where the real bitterness is. As for, the king, he's 77 years old. He's getting older. He just wants a lovely moment, I'm sure. Doesn't want bitterness with his son.
Billy, I didn't realize you were this much of a sentimentalist.
I am. I think of the old guy. I mean, I was super tight with my dad. Shit, if I had a falling out with my dad, if he died, when he died, if he was not good with me or I wasn't with him, it would destroy me. Everything else in my life would mean nothing. Then if I had a falling out with my parents. This guy, it may come down to one or the other. Meghan.
I listen, I think that what the timing of this, okay, let's just review very quickly what went down this week. Meghan, or late last week, Meghan posted to Instagram something that I think was an obscenity. Harry and the children on what looked like their way to visit Diana's grave.
Oh, that, yeah.
And William is reportedly apoplectic with rage.
Yeah.
There is nothing and no one these two will not monetize. And that also seemed to be, my interpretation, a bit of an FU to King Charles, who we had Lady C on the show last week. Her reporting was that when Harry and the children went to meet with King Charles, the children for the first time in years, Meghan was made to wait out in the hallway alone. Right? So that was the king and the palace saying to her, we tolerate you at best.
You called us, someone high up in our ranks, a racist. We have not forgotten that. You'll sit outside. And not because of the color of your skin, but because you trashed us publicly.
This is really a proxy war, is it not? Like, it's for really the future of the monarchy. Who will determine it? Ultimately, it has to be William, right?
It's absolutely William, and William cannot stand Meghan, and he cannot stand his brother for falling for Meghan and for taking him away. I guarantee you, if Harry were to separate, get divorced from Meghan, he would be welcomed back by father and son like that. She would be the scapegoat. They'd blame her and everything would be good. They want Harry. And the English people, I mean, I was over there when the Queen died. I flew right away when I was working at Extra and covered that whole thing. And it was, the ascension of Charles was right after it. They were almost preparing for two things at once. And everyone I spoke to loved, all the British folk loved Harry. They still love Harry. They're mad at Harry, but forgiveness will be quick and swift. It's her. It's all her. And every person I chatted with in the street, I did tons of MOS stuff. All their bitterness is directed at Meghan. Every bit of it.
You think William will forgive?
100%. He'll be mad at his brother, but he'll say, finally, the right thing happened. But not if they stay together. I mean, if Harry's with Meghan, I don't think there's a chance of that. All their ire is directed at Meghan.
So we will move on to Oprah attempting to rewrite her personal history regarding the explosive Harry and Meghan interview in 2021. We're going to show this clip, and then we want your reaction, Billy, as to what you think Oprah's up to here.
Okay.
I was just trying to carefully go through everything that had come up in the past.
I've always valued independence. I've always been outspoken, especially about women's rights. I mean, that's the sad irony of the last 4 years, is I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice. And then I was silent.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
The latter.
Okay, very nice. I don't think I've done it since. I don't know where the hell that came from. Whoop. Okay.
It came from her.
I wanted to be clear.
She just did it.
Was she silenced? Were people telling her not to talk? That's why I said that. I said it for clarification, because I didn't want later to hear, well, no, it wasn't that. It really was that I was silenced. They wouldn't let me talk. So it was all for clarification.
No.
Wait, am I not wrong that she went like, I thought Meghan just said, well, I was silenced, and she did a very subtle one of these. And then Oprah goes, silenced or silenced? And then she did it, and she goes, where did I get that? You got it from Meghan. About 5 seconds ago, she did it, and then you did it. But what was interesting is I felt like Meghan was saying, I've supported women forever. Everybody knows how much I've stood up for women and their voices, and I want them to be heard, and blah, 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 like so many others say, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, and then all of a sudden I was silent, almost like she was upset with herself, like, or her audience, her people are wondering, why are you silent now? In this incredible moment, I was silent. And then Oprah goes, silent or silenced? And Meghan goes, ooh, that's a better one. Yeah, that one. I'll take that one. I was silenced. It's almost like she was making a different point. Oprah comes in with this amazingly beautiful opportunity for it to be something else, and she takes it. So
Right. For the racist queen to put her metaphorical hand over Meghan's mouth and say, hush you, shut. Your great point, by the way. None of us had ever heard of this woman before she got with Harry. Who among us looked to her as some kind of feminist leader?
I've always, you know that, I've stood for women my whole life.
We just met you 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I'm going to start saying that, by the way. I think that's kind of a great move. I think I'm going to be like, well, everybody knows that I have, fought hard for people all over starvation and in Africa and what I've done for cancer. Everybody knows that. No, they don't.
I know. But the other thing, too, is Oprah's like trying to read. This is not the conversation, and it never has been regarding this interview. This interview was like Oprah sat there and let them propagandize and didn't have a single follow-up question to challenge this bullshit narrative that we all saw was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, that's Oprah's brand. I mean, we saw Oprah did the first interview with Amy Griffin, and, which I watched in its entirety. And there is no challenge to obvious questions, head scratchers that don't add up. And she wants everyone to have a good experience. It's the number one platform for, a pleasurable experience without much questioning.
Especially if you're a female claiming any kind of victimhood.
Oh, for sure. You've come to the right place.
Oprah's destroying her legacy, and the nerve it alighted at the right time. On to another public menace, Rosie O'Donnell. She's back.
A public menace.
She's coming back. There's a lot happening. She, too.
Put her on The View.
Cover of People magazine. She's threatening to return to New York City.
Oh, yeah.
The Nerve got some exclusive audio from stand-up she did earlier this week. And Billy, don't you know she is still on, she's perseverating on one person. And again, whether you like the guy or not, voted for the guy or not, I find this hilarious. Here we go.
Hey, Donald, you rattled again? 20 years later, and I still live rent-free in that collapsing brain of yours. You call me a threat to humanity, but I'm everything you fear. A loud woman, a queer woman, a mother who tells the truth. You're everything that's wrong with America, and I'm everything you hate about what's still right with it. And you want to revoke my citizenship? Well, go ahead and try, King Joffrey with his tangerine spray tan. I'm not yours to silence. I never was. It went viral, which shocked me because I didn't understand, but people were like, she had such class and decorum. She didn't go down in the mud with him. She stayed above the fray. And I'm so glad that I chose that, unlike the first thing I thought of, which was, eat me, you fucking prick.
She gives us so much, Billy. She gives us so much. And it's reported that she's hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live for a week in August. And she told Entertainment Weekly that she is, in fact, probably looking to return to daytime talk.
Well, she's got the new facelift. She looks fantastic. She's ready to go. She fixed this. She said it was this that hung down like that, the jowl. So she's got that. Donald Trump and Rosie O'Donnell have, it's actually a beautiful relationship. It's a perfect relationship. They have benefited so much off each other. I mean, Trump set the tone in August 15th that he didn't give a shit when he was interviewed by, when Megyn Kelly was the moderator of that very first debate, and he said the Rosie line. And
wait, remind us of the Rosie line.
Oh, it was his coming out party. Megyn Kelly was ready for your boss, your buddy, was ready for Trump and 15 other candidates, and everyone was laughing at Donald Trump. And he said, you've said this about women, that you've called them dogs, you've called them pigs, you've called women, you're very much anti-woman. And he goes, well, to be fair, really, it was only Rosie. And the whole place goes crazy, and they're laughing like mad. And Trump realizes, oh, shit, I can get away with this in politics, too? Oh, my God, here we go. And he was off to the races. And what everybody thought was a joke, I think Rosie was his trial balloon. So really what I'm saying is Rosie gets credit for Donald Trump's brand being acceptable as president of the United States. She's done more for him than he could ever. He couldn't repay her, and he's done a lot for her. I mean, she's still making jokes about him, and she's still exploiting the relationship. So she might ride him all the way to late night television if she's real. Although from what I'm hearing, Jimmy Kimmel's got some heat right now, and most of Colbert's viewers have gone to him, so he might be in a good renegotiating position.
Yeah, apparently that's what I've been reading too, that ABC is now begging him to stay.
Yeah, why? I mean, that was one of the great standoffs of all time, Maureen. I mean,
it really was. Whose side were you on in that, Billy? Did you have a side?
I was in the Kimmel side, and I don't love everything he does, but I was on his side, mostly on the free speech side.
Agreed.
And the fact that people stood up for Jimmy when Disney seemed too weak to do so out of principle themselves. It's the viewers, it's the unsubscribers from Disney Plus that sent a message right back to Disney and where they should have always been. Nothing Kimmel said was reprehensible, and most of it was true. But boy, it was an opportunity to sack the guy and try to get rid of him. And it really let him know where he stood. Let me tell you something. If those people didn't unsubscribe, Jimmy probably would have caved to all those affiliate stations, and he would have been gone. And now he's stronger than ever. And the viewers made it that way, and the unsubscribers made it that way. This guy can do anything over there. So he'll get a lot of dough if he wants it.
It's incredible. Just to the Rosie Trump origin story, I believe, didn't she, not that I'm blaming anybody here, but wasn't the inciting event her doing that hair flip on The View?
Yeah.
And Barbara Walters was like, stop that, don't do that. And she was like, no, this is how he is and how he talks. And that got it going. Billy, so one of the bits that Rosie did that was sent to me by this anonymous troublemaker from her recent stand-up, she told this to 60 Minutes Australia, which we played on a Nerve about 6 months ago. It's hilarious, and I believe it's true. And I kind of really do love Rosie O, because she is like, she's an Irish Catholic freak show from Long Island. Like, she can't help herself. She says, when it looked like Trump was going to win for the second time, or he had just been elected. She scheduled an emergency appointment with her psychotherapist. You and I talked therapy the last time you were here. And her therapist said to her, she said, I cannot deal. He has been elected again. It's Armageddon. Her therapist says to her, Rosie, it is time for you and I to make a plan. We're going to get you out of the United States. Now, this is hilarious to me because Rosie talks about it like it's a SEAL Team 6 op. Like, she's got an army of assistants, I'm sure. Here's how you get out, Rosie. Buy a plane ticket. Get an Airbnb or a 5-star hotel room to your desired location, which was Ireland. And to hang out there until you find a place to your liking. What's the issue? But she had an emergency session with her psychotherapist.
It was too triggering. There's so many celebrities, by the way. Jimmy Kimmel, one of them, threatening to move to Italy. Alec Baldwin, many years ago, threatening to move to Canada. None of them did it. You have to hand it to Rosie.
You do.
At least you got to give it to her. She backed it up. She's the only one who bitched and whined and said, I'm so triggered, I'm going to do this. And she's the only one who did. Remember when Trump was sitting with the Prime Minister of Ireland and he was, he loves to do those impromptu, live press conferences. And he's sitting there and he goes, now tell me, you got Rosie over there. Rosie. And the guy's like, Rosie who? Rosie goes, Rosie O'Donnell. She's your problem now, buddy. You got to keep her. I just thought, oh my God, here he is with the Prime Minister of Ireland saying you're stuck with her. These two, they have to have each other, right? They can't quit each other. They're Brokeback Mountain.
I was just about to say that. The rest of us can see they're in love.
Totally.
Okay.
He's in love with the media. And she, of course, would be top of that heap.
Yeah, she's him as her prime antagonist. There's got to be some Freudian shit going on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds, psycho arsonist Ryan Reynolds made a surprise appearance at San Diego Comic-Con. This is via Entertainment Weekly. It's been covered by People. He posted about it on Instagram. Ryan Reynolds has revealed that he didn't just attend the weekend-long fan convention to beg for a role in Avengers Doomsday. I find all of this so interesting. He also wanted to get the full fanboy experience of walking the floor with his fellow cosplayers. So Ryan, psycho arsonist Ryan, who the culture is rejecting in just overwhelmingly, dressed up anonymously in an all denim Deadpool costume, which he called Gene Pool. And I just find
everything has a pool.
He's trying so hard with everything. And he clearly needs to remain a beloved movie star. My theory of the case is that ship has sailed, my man. We don't want you. We have seen behind the curtain. You're a fucking monster. Your wife is a monster. And you are a psycho arsonist who has yet to apologize for setting your elementary school on fire when you were 10 years old. And later joking once you were famous that you hoped that some other quote unquote poor schmuck wasn't doing time for your crime.
Is he done? Because that crowd at Comic-Con, I don't even know if they know he's married to Blake Lively. They just know he's the Deadpool guy. And they're like, oh my God, it's Deadpool. Like, in my mind, no, dude, you trashed your agent. You literally took Warren Zavala and threw him under a bus in the worst way after this guy sacrificed his credibility for you. You threw him under the bus. You threatened everybody in town. You bullied people, fired people, everything for your wife, all this unforgivable shit. I spoke to one of the executive producers on It Ends With Us who had to deal with him all the time, said absolutely the worst guy. He is a leverager. He's a bully, all these things. And yet I see the crowd of nerds applauding Deadpool as, oh my God, maybe he's going to make an appearance in the Avengers Doomsday movie with Robert Downey and everybody else. And then he already announced another Deadpool is coming, all in one stroke. And the guys are, I don't know. I don't think they look beyond the character. He may be just fine. He may be rocking on with his business. Her, I don't think so.
Wait, Billy, just to go back for a moment. How did Ryan Reynolds throw his agent under the bus?
Warren Zavala was his agent, and all their text messages between Warren is a William Morris agent. Reynolds was his client, and all their text messages were released, and he got Warren Zavala like, so and so over at Sony is a real suck up loser, and so. I mean, the guy was in a private bubble, trashing everyone and sucking up to Ryan, saying, "Oh, you're totally right, Ryan." I mean, just impugned himself in the worst way for his client, Ryan.
Right.
And then guess what Ryan did to thank him? Fired the guy when things weren't going as well, after he completely undressed in front of him and showed, I've got no humility here, no dignity. Ryan still fired him. I mean,
were those among the emails where there was this great email that got released in Discovery where Ryan was having a major effing tantrum, and he was like, "Listen, you guys need to be throwing the building at this problem. My wife landed a jumbo jet on a dime." He wrote that. He literally wrote that, like she was Sully Sullenberger.
Yeah.
With this stupid bullshit B movie, about domestic violence that she's using to hawk her hair care line.
Listen, whatever she demanded or asked of her husband in her tantrum, that dude delivered. I mean, that guy, you would think he would pay a heavy price for his role in all of this. But at the end of the day, there are more, I think, curious, sleuth-minded type consumers of Blake Lively's brand than there are in, Ryan has 16-year-old boys who are, and Marvel, superhero nerds who drive his brand. So in the end, I think she suffers way more than him, and he may not suffer at all. I'm getting a taste that seeing him out there on that floor with those kids all cheering for him and super psyched to see Deadpool in his jeans, in his Canadian tuxedo. I don't know. If everyone else is like that room, then he's fine.
You know what else depressed me? Because this really was kind of his quote unquote audition to be welcomed back into the Marvel universe, was Robert Downey Jr. on that stage. And listen, I get it.
He was
Robert Downey Jr. was an outcast forever because of his drug problem. But like Robert Downey Jr. is up there trying to midwife this return to the culture by a guy who is proven to have zero scruples. This guy will throw anybody under the fucking bus.
You know what's a similar vibe? Remember at the SNL 50th anniversary? Someone else was on the stage. Was it Amy Poehler maybe, who was like, and someone goes, I have a question. And then Ryan did that sort of stunt from the audience, right? Where he was like anything interesting happened lately? You've heard anything? Yeah. It was that. Yeah, I can't really, and sort of like a joking roundabout reference to the shit that they were in. And that did not play. That did not work. Because that room is not full of superhero fans. And
exactly right.
Deadpoolers,
Exactly,
and I think,
right.
Yeah, he may be okay in his base operations.
Well, the Nerve will do what we can to write this. Okay, Jared Leto. This broke early Wednesday morning. This is a BBC documentary. And when the British media goes after you, you best believe you are in real trouble, because their defamation laws are always slanted in favor of the subject of reporting. It's far more stringent than in America. So the BBC dropped a preview of this documentary about Jared Leto's Accusers. They've got 4 women who are alleging sexual assault or impropriety against Jared Leto. We're going to take a look at a bit of this trailer, and then we're going to talk about the fallout. Here we go.
Alex was a model in London in 2013. She was 19 when she was invited to see a 30 Seconds to Mars show through her modelling agency. After the show, an assistant invited Alex to an after-show party at a hotel. When she got there, Leto was alone. He was 41 at the time.
Then I'm sat there and saying, okay, well, my phone is dying, so I can't really get home from here. So I ask him if he has a phone charger. No, I don't. Okay, I also don't have any cash left. Could I get some cash to get a cab home? No, I don't have any cash. I was sat on the chaise longue kind of thing. So I was kind of like thinking to myself, could I just sleep here?
Alex says that Leto threatened to sexually assault her while she was asleep.
I ask him, can I just sleep here then? And then he just goes, if you're gonna sleep here, you're gonna wake up with a in your ass.
Isabel, not her real name, said she met Leto at her job in Las Vegas when she was 17. He was 30. He asked to hang out after her shift and meet at his motel.
I didn't think much of it. I just was like, oh, he's still getting ready and we're going to meet up there and then we're going to go out afterwards. Sorry, this is where it gets hard.
Instead, she says Leto sexually assaulted her.
I don't think I ever, till recently, ever blamed him. I always blamed me.
And there we see the graphic, the Chiron. Despite repeated attempts to contact Jared Leto, he has not responded to the allegations put to him by the BBC. That changed very quickly on Wednesday morning when this dropped, a statement that went live on Deadline at 8:25 a.m. Leto denying the accusations, quote, I have never sexually assaulted anyone in my entire life. These claims are absolutely and categorically false. Billy, I'm just going to point to a report published by my former colleague, Chris Wilson. Jared Leto likes him young. The then 33-year-old's Requiem for a Dream actor has become infamous over at the Maritime Hotel for calling and texting some of his underage objects of desire several times a day, girls from IMG, Elite, Next, and Women modeling agencies. He is constantly texting these other 16 and 17-year-old girls. Billy, you have been doing this for a long time. I'm sure you have heard many stories about Jared Leto, as have I.
Not only that, but personal ones. I mean, I've got a very, very close friend whose daughter was 16 years old, and with 4 of them get an invite from a promoter type. There's always a private number, or there's an invite, from a third party saying, Jared's having a party, come over, and told me to my face that when she was 16 years old, she and 3 friends are at a party, and there's tons of girls all that age, and Jared and a few of his much older friends. So his proclivities, for young girls it's one of those things that's been around forever. Sort of like a Matt Lauer or a Harvey Weinstein, where there's rumors forever. They're just clouds of you hear it. And then what is that moment? What is that bellwether moment that makes it actionable and it becomes something big? In this case, it might be the BBC documentary, but, in June of 2025, a year ago, Airmail did The Cult of Leto, a huge expose on this exact problem. But it didn't seem to get Gucci to drop him as their, who looks more beautiful in a dress than Jared Leto? Sometimes Harry Styles, but, he's a big face for them. Nothing happened there. And now you got these women. You got the woman who said she was 17 in a dingy motel in Vegas. She's in she alleges she's in her Vegas store. Jared and his buddies come in, shows him around. And he's like, hey, let's meet up later, to go out. And she's like, okay. And she shows up to the motel. Here's a guy that can buy a room at the Four Seasons, a dirty motel on the Strip. Has her in. He's in the shower, invites her in. Something inappropriate, she says, happens in there, whatever. Then he gets out of the motel, looks both ways, right, left, to see if anyone's coming, gets her out, and that's it. Bye-bye, we're not going out. You came over to do that. There's a bunch of these women on record here, and I just think, this is obviously where there's smoke, there's fire. Come on.
They did a Law and Order SVU. And with a Jared avatar. Do you remember that?
Really?
He was like, yeah. He was like
sure.
this Yeah. And it was also like,
I'm glad his conduct is creating great content for Hollywood, but this is what you call comeuppance.
This is right. And you know what you just said about Gucci refusing to drop him. The hypocrisy, first of all, the world of high fashion is so filthy and dirty. Remember Denma and that Balenciaga ad that was it was literally an ad promoting pedophilia. It was like children around stuffed animals that were dressed in bondage gear.
Oof.
And he's now at Gucci.
Yeah.
And just if I may, Kate Moss caught so much shit. She got dropped by every major fashion house when she was photographed doing cocaine in a recording studio with her then boyfriend, or he was there, whatever. She was with Pete Doherty of the Libertines. Oh my God, a supermodel in a recording studio doing cocaine. Shock of all shockers. Everybody clutched their pearls and she suffered for that. This guy doing what he's been doing, low these many years, reportedly, allegedly, and he's untouchable. Where are we?
There's a girl named Etta who alleges that he repeatedly, explicit phone calls to her suggesting on one of them that they have sex. She's 16 years old at the time. It's 2014. He approached her outside the modeling agency, she alleges, and invited her to his Oscar party. Text me, he said to her. So she's texting, wow, this is cool. It's Jared Leto. She gets a call from a private number. Did you get the job? It's me. Oh my God, you deserve the job. Oh, you should have gotten it. You're such a beautiful model. That's so great. And then it turns to, do you have any kinks? Are you a virgin? Can you, uses a word that rhymes with shirt as like a sexual act. Can you? And I'm just like, oh my God. Then lawyers sent NDAs, and she shows in the documentary, this is the NDA right here that was sent to me by Jared Leto's lawyer. I didn't sign it, but you can see like this relationship between you and Jared is confidential. I mean, you're talking to a 16-year-old. Craziness. The allegation. I mean, there's just no way there's so many people in here. This is like, sorry, Mr. Cosby, but 72 women do not come together as a group and say, let's take down the old comic.
Same with Harvey, big misunderstanding. Final story. I love this story. It is a palate cleanser for us, Billy. Heroic teen lifeguard, 16-year-old boy who saved a 10-year-old from pounding California surf. It is now revealed that he also rescued others that day. We're going to take a look at this video, which has gone viral in America. Mm-hmm. He has been lauded by the White House, and he is receiving an invitation to receive the highest civilian honor. Let's take a look. They go under. This looks like a tidal wave. It's so enormous.
That's a nasty riptide.
Right?
That if you've ever been in one of those, you know that the pull out into the ocean is 10 times stronger than the wave that's crashing onto the shore to pull you in.
His name is Ryder Williams. He's 16, and he refused to let go of that boy. He said he knew if he would let go, that the boy would be dead. Finally, others come to try to aid this rescue, and they do get him out. This is remarkable. This is a story that just reaffirms your faith in humanity. And it also, to me, Billy, as someone who grew up on the beach, there are days when the lifeguards are just like, nobody's going in. Like, why was anybody in the ocean?
No kidding. It's also a message to crazy, over left-wing libbies that we need our strong men. We need our strong men in the lifeguard chair, and in many places. Do not diminish the importance of the powerful, strong man, because that guy is maybe 16, but what a dude. What a dude. And it took him and every ounce of his strength to pull that kid out of the water. What What a wonderful story. I mean, imagine being in that situation because a light went on in his head. It had to the opportunity to say to yourself, it's either me or him. This is too daunting. I got to let the kid go and save myself. And then he knew probably I can't live with myself if I let go of this other person. That's humanity. That's the interconnectedness of human beings. I can't live with myself if I let this person I've never seen before in my life go. What a call to duty. Jesus, what a moment.
What a moment. What a perfect encapsulation of the best of us, of the best of America. This kid is 16 years old and you watch that footage. Do you know how hard it must have been to maintain his grip on that kid in the ocean?
Oh, I've been
the
that kid.
Water, the slipperiness, like the mental control to not panic with waves the size of skyscrapers coming at you.
I've been that kid. I've been caught
Really?
I've been caught in a riptide. I was not a little boy. I was sadly and most embarrassingly in my early 30s. But
It can happen to anybody.
I was caught, and there's a Mexican lifeguard. I was in Cabo, and a Mexican lifeguard who was that guy and saved my ass, stuck in the riptide. I was not coming out by myself. And then it took 5 other guys to come down and help him. And I believe it was in Page 6. You could do a deep dive because I remember Page 6 writing, Billy Bush was screaming like a little girl.
Oh my God.
Water I remember this. And the guests of the hotel were all looking out. And there I was, like, I yelled to my wife, Sydney, at the time, get the fucking lifeguard. And she runs up and gets the lifeguard. He comes down with a ring, and there's like guy, he's pulling and pulling, and then he swims out there. And oh my God, that guy saved my life. I went back up into my room. I found my wallet. I dumped it on him. I said, if I had any more, I'd give it to you. This is everything. Jesus Christ, thank you. Saved
Wow.
my life.
Wow. What
Ooh,
a
the
story.
PTSD.
Oh, Billy.
I got to find that article in Page 6. They were brutal to me.
Page 6 can really be brutal.
It wasn't the one and only time that it was one of many.
Well, look at you now, Billy.
Look at me now.
Running
You
hot
answer me this
mics.
question. Answer it. Why is Page 6 so silent on the Amy Griffin story? Why Daily Mail? This is like right up their alley. Socialite doing the wrong, they're dead silent other than the one piece they ran the week before that basically came from her publicist. What is going on?
This is a great question. I'm so glad you
Where's
asked
Paula
it, Billy.
Froelich? Ask her. Why is there such silence around this? This is wheelhouse stuff for them.
It's such a great question, and it's why your podcast exists, why The Nerve exists. I mean, nobody else is touching what I think is a major freaking scandal. I think this is criminal. If she has accused this man who seems to be completely innocent of violent, repeated childhood rape. Are you kidding me? And oh my God, you and I talked about this, I think, on your show, Hot Mics, last week, because the Post, where I worked for like longer than I would care to admit, it just like did me so dirty. They were like, oh, Maureen Callahan was the first to say, hey, something doesn't add up here. But that's just her opinion. It was like, no. This was a very well thought out argument that I was making on The Nerve. And I just thought that was pretty low and classless of them, but that's what they do.
I mean, if this was like a Tinsley Mortimer or some other like high society type of person and they were caught like ripping or plagiarizing or whatever, and list all allegations, by the way, nothing's proven at this point, but something like that, which is silenced the A-list and brought out all the A-list to build her up. And now there's just total silence from
Crickets.
them.
Billy, I'll tell you a little newsroom story and the troublemakers about how this shit really works. Do you remember, again, I believe an SVU was done on this, a Law and Order. Do you remember long before the Harvey explosion, the expose in the New York Times, a few years prior to that, a model in New York City, a young model, had gone to the NYPD and said, Harvey Weinstein attempted to assault me. And the NYPD took that very seriously, and they wired her up and they put her back into a meeting with Harvey. And he was going, just come into the room, just come into the room. I swear, I'm sorry about what happened last time. I won't do it again. I was out of my mind, out of my mind. And the NYPD felt they had enough to arrest and charge Harvey. And the New York Post went on a smear campaign against this model. Who is this model? Where'd she come from? Was she even born in America? She trying to use Harvey to get a job? We all know how the casting couch works. Wouldn't we have heard this about Harvey before? On and on and on until the DA dropped it. Okay, that was the work of the New York Post. At the time, the editor-in-chief of the New York Post, not revealed to the readers of the New York Post, Carl Allen, was like this with Harvey. They used to party together all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder. I don't know. I mean, her husband's a very, very powerful guy, very rich.
Billionaire, known as the guy who owns New York.
I just think, it's a it's a question worth asking. I don't know what's happening here, but something. The silence is weird.
Well, I love that you're staying on it. And we at The Nerve are going to stay on it as well. It's time for my monthly incantation to the real Mr. Mason, who, God, I really hope just fucking hits her with a major fucking defamation lawsuit. Major. Yep. Everybody knows who he is.
Wondered why he hasn't. Just like I wonder why she hasn't sued the New York Times. I wonder why. I mean, enough people know this story about this guy. I wonder why he hasn't either, though. Come on, dude.
I know. Unless he's been, silenced with a big
I would kill.
check.
Someone said something like that about me, I would kill.
Scorched earth, burn you to the ground. Woo. Billy,
big loss.
Thank you for coming on The Nerve and for gutting it out with me with my beginning coughing fit. Really appreciate it.
Here at Callahan Auto, where's
your Callahan Auto Parts tea? Or is that for my next appearance? Time. Okay.
Tommy boy.
I'll wear mine as well.
See
ya. Thanks to Billy Bush. As always, what a chat. We will be back in a minute. If you'd like to lose weight but have zero interest in painful weekly injections with scary side effects such as cancer, vision blindness, there is an alternative, a weight loss supplement called Lean. The doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 or more pounds to lose. It's made with studied ingredients that have been shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb appetite and cravings. One note, Lean is not for the casual dieter. With only a few pounds to lose, you can get started with 20% off and free rush shipping, so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Visit takelean.com, enter Maureen for your discount. That's promo code Maureen at takelean.com. We are back, and now it is time for Troublemaker Feedback and Art. We begin. We'll end with a banger. We'll begin with a banger. Paul from New Zealand sent in several masterworks. Ryan Reynolds in a fire retardant woodshed. There's more reportage on Ryan Reynolds and how unwelcome he is in the commerce at the multiplex. How Hollywood is not quite yet getting the memo, but they seem to be dialed in. More to come. This is from Paul from New Zealand. Paul also gives us Meghan Markle on the set of MasterChef Australia in a cone of silence. And then he gave us yours truly and Lady C delivering bombshell news at The Nerve. Love it, love it, love it, Paul. He also writes that they have just posted a new weekly Paul from New Zealand artworks post, which includes many more pieces for Paul's troublemakers. The troublemakers, rather, all of Nerve troublemakers who are following Paul at his Substack. So go to Paul's Substack. It is called, I've got it right here, Paul from New Zealand. It's his Substack. And I am a very content subscriber. I love it. He is prolific as all get out. Okay. I've gotten this email from many a troublemaker. Amanda Knox on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. 2 of your faves in one. I hope you're aware and get right on it. The people in the comments are eating it up. You know we're on it, troublemaker. This is a fellow Maureen, troublemaker Maureen. Now, this is a doozy. This one is so good. Settle in, my friends. A troublemaker from Westchester's perspective. Privilege, accountability, and the Sunny Hostin narrative. I will not use your name as requested. I will call you Troublemaker F. This is a woman. I live in the same community where Sunny Hostin resided before selling her purchased New York estate, and my children are close in age to hers. While I did not have a personal relationship with the family, I am familiar with the community and believe an important perspective has been missing from some of her previous public comments. Many residents have been troubled by public statements suggesting that her children, particularly her son, were unsafe here. Those remarks have been especially difficult for longtime residents, including families of color who have lived in this community for years and who do not recognize the portrayal of the town as one defined by exclusion or hostility. You know, we often talk about nominative determinism here at the Nerve. Hostin is adjacent to hostile hostility. Continuing on from Troublemaker F's incredibly illuminating and entertaining email. I love troublemaker feedback. The narrative, so Sunny, Sum and Substance, Sunny used to go on The View all the time, and I think she did this when they moved to New Rochelle. I don't know if she did it in Purchase, but she would go to the local police department, the precinct, and she would say, hey, I'm Sunny Hostin. I'm TV's Sunny Hostin of The View. Sum and Substance. I'm TV's Sunny Hostin. And I am the mother of a son, and he is not white. I'm not white. He is not white. I just want you to know, if you see him jogging, do not arrest or shoot him. So she was basically telling America that she felt her son's life was in mortal danger simply by living in these very well-to-do, sophisticated, often very liberal enclaves. Troublemaker F continues, the narrative of danger and isolation presented publicly does not reflect the broader reality of this community. For years, families of color, including professional athletes, physicians, executives, and other professionals, myself included, as I am Boricua, like Ms. Hostin, have lived here, raised children here, participated in local institutions, and become fully integrated into the fabric of the town. In contrast, the Hostin family remains largely separate from community life and did not appear to participate in many of the local events, institutions, or activities that have traditionally brought residents together. The Hostins' misleading portrayal of life in Westchester County paradoxically exists alongside the reality of their significant privilege. The Metro North trespassing incident involving 24-year-old Gabriel Hostin, resulting in his mother, Sunny Hostin, alighting on the scene and saying, I'm a former federal prosecutor. He's a Harvard grad. He teaches 4th grade geometry to kids in the South Bronx. Poor kids. Look at us. The Metro North trespassing incident merely put a spotlight on how her privilege and status have been used to advocate for her children for years. Again, just this Troublemaker's report upcoming, often out of public view, notwithstanding her repeated public condemnations of privilege, as we all witnessed when Sunny Hostin spoke with police during the incident. She repeatedly referenced her son's Harvard education, making his Harvard pedigree central to the conversation. Harvard is an impressive credential, but Gabriel's own LinkedIn profile, which we went in on a very recent Nerve, we went over it like a crime scene in and of itself, This troublemaker continues. His LinkedIn profile raises questions about the qualifications behind Gabriel's admission. It highlights his 1440 SAT score, which is a strong score generally, but below the typical range reported for Harvard admits. It is well known that college admissions, particularly at a school like Harvard, are of course holistic and consider many factors beyond test scores. However, the great point, troublemaker F, Gabriel's LinkedIn profile contains little reference to the academic achievements, major awards, athletic accomplishments, or other distinguishing extracurricular accomplishments often associated with highly selective college applicants. Interesting. Moreover, Gabriel's 2021 Ivy Day Instagram video documenting his Harvard acceptance also provides insight into how the achievement was publicly framed. We are going to show it here.
It says congratulations.
My boy going to Harvard.
As the acceptance letter was revealed, Dr. Manny Hostin turned toward the camera and said, "This is really what your mother has been working for." And Gabriel, your mother did it, directing recognition toward his wife. My opinion, the malignant narcissist here, rather than solely celebrating their son's quote unquote accomplishment. That moment raises serious questions about the role of Sonny Hostin's influence, resources, networks, and yes, privilege in Gabriel's admissions to Harvard. Questions remain as to why Gabriel chose to enter a restricted industrial area in the first place. Indeed, they do. This is one of the all-time great troublemaker emails. Keep your feedback coming. I'm going to truncate this. My voice is going. Email me at Maureen at devilmaycaremedia.com. Find me on Instagram. Maureen Callahan writer. Coming up, an exclusive Nerve update on a criminal cultural offender. And this tip, this source, this information is exclusive to the Nerve. Back in a minute. It's summer, and so many of us would like to feel energized, more confident, maybe less bloated, less sluggish. Try adding cowboy colostrum to your daily routine. It can improve digestion, help your skin look clearer, your hair fuller. Cowboy ran a clinical study showing 83% of participants have reported improved gut health, 79% experienced less bloating and inflammation, 72% saw improved digestion, and 62% reported fuller, thicker hair. Cowboy colostrum is made in America from American grass-fed cows using true first-day whole colostrum. No fillers, no artificial flavors. Their new cookies and cream flavor tastes just like a milkshake. And this is an easy daily habit to support gut health while helping you look and feel your best. Try the new cookies and cream flavor for yourself for a limited time. Our listeners get up to 25% off your entire order. Just head to cowboycolostrum.com/Maureen. Use code Maureen at checkout. That's 25% off when you use code Maureen at cowboycolostrum.com/Maureen. Troublemakers, when we say that you are everywhere, you are everywhere. Not long after we did our original piece on Belle Burden, your humble troublemaker in chief was contacted by someone on the inside, from the other side, who had a lot to say. And I am here to give the culture an update on the real Belle Burden, augmented by some Nerve original reporting. Here we go. I love this. I love it. If you need more proof, if the culture needs more proof, I'm not sure when the mainstream media is going to catch on to this shit. You know what? Let's hope they never do. Okay, as I've said before, leave this lane clear for the nerve. Okay, you know how there's like an HOV lane on most major American highways? You know, like only 2 or more passengers can go in this lane to sort of keep traffic moving. It's a lane of one. It's a lane of one belonging to the nerve, speeding through celebrity bullshit. Okay, now, this source comes from inside the world of Belle's ex-husband, who in her memoir, Strangers, propped up by the likes of Oprah Winfrey, Drew Barrymore, Gwyneth Paltrow, etc., claims that she was completely left penniless, in the dark financially, and at loose ends by her evil hedge fund husband, who was cheating on her and left her for another woman. Now, even this source, who is admittedly sympathetic to Belle's ex-husband, admits, yes, he cheated. Did he leave her in a bad way? By which I mean, could he have exited the marriage more gracefully than he did? Yes. Did he make mistakes leaving? Yes, he did. Did he and does he deserve any of what has been leveled against him in Belle's memoir? Is she trying to destroy his reputation and potentially his career? Yes and yes. Yes and yes. It's not like this stuff. There's a reason Belle Burden was among the murderers' row seated on the dais for the Nerve's inaugural roast of one Oprah Winfrey. Okay. Belle is among, as I say, there are many ways to commit murder. It doesn't have to be physical. You can commit reputational murder. You can try to commit career homicide. Many ways. Belle had a place of honor among Oprah's other 2 rich, famous, white, blonde female memoirists, Amy Griffin of The Tell, who the Nerve has questioned, I believe quite legitimately, as to the veracity of her story, claiming to have been raped multiple times violently and sadistically by a teacher known to all in that school, who she gave the pseudonym Mr. Mason. And Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote in her most recent memoir of her plot, which she came very close to, her own self-report, close to executing, to murder her then girlfriend by giving her an overdose of pills that were not her regular chemo medication, and then smothering her to death with a pillow when she was unconscious. Yes, I said chemo medication. The girlfriend was dying of cancer. She just wasn't dying enough quickly enough for Elizabeth. Belle Burden, place of honor, writing about how she was left hanging by this evil hedge fund ex-husband, and she had no idea what she was going to do for money. She had no idea what was in her prenup. He controlled everything. She was just the good, dutiful wife, stay-at-home mom. What did she do? You know, as discussed, you know, as if I were the editor, I would have had, I have something to say about this book's editor. It's coming. It does not typically read as a credible version of events when one person is the complete victim. Just look at Meghan Markle, and the adversary is completely evil. I mean, save a truly heinous criminal act, like a truly heinous criminal violent act. You know, we're talking emotional violence among adults. Now, our source tells the Nerve that the ex-husband has not spoken out on his own because he made a vow to keep quiet for the sake of the children. He is also a fiduciary. which means he has legal obligations to his clients. But this is important. When I say Belle is attempting to commit, just my opinion, reputational career homicide, by saying in the pages of a book that is published by one of the big five and then is like just pushed into the bloodstream, the cultural bloodstream, by the celebrity industrial complex and by the likes of like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, et cetera, as legitimate. And she's saying my ex-husband did me wrong financially. Like he really left me in the lurch. Like I didn't know like that can cause extreme damage to somebody who works in finance for a living. If I'm a power player, if I've got a ton of money with this guy and I read a memoir, he's easily identifiable. And if I'm in that world, I already know who he is and she is, you know what I'm saying? And he's being accused of screwing over his ex-wife, the mother of his children, financially. Do I want to keep my money with a guy like that? No. Now, Belle writes, among other details meant to pull at the heartstrings of non-multimillionaires of generational wealth who are descended, from Standard Oil money, as Belle is, that I also think she's a Vanderbilt, that during COVID, when they went into lockdown, it was just the family. Mind you, they had a massive Tribeca loft, multi-million dollars worth, and then they had a retreat on Martha's Vineyard. Belle left out. It was later reported in the New Yorker expose, the New Yorker expose, that house comes with a private beachfront, and the key to that private beachfront is worth $400,000, and that in the divorce, the ex-husband gave her the Martha's Vineyard house, the Tribeca loft, I believe, and the key to the Martha's Vineyard beachfront worth $400,000. I can think of many women who would be thrilled to walk away from a divorce with dependent children with a lump sum of $400,000 with child support to come, and the husband also covering medical, dental, extracurriculars, tuition, private school tuition, which Belle had. But she wrote in the beginning, it was just us in lockdown. And, here I am like just sweeping the floor and making sandwiches and just doing my wifely duty, cleaning the toilets, sum and substance, while he's off living his high flying life as a financier. And this source said to me, I'm sure that Belle's fans would love to know about her full-time Brazilian housekeeper, who, perhaps was left in lockdown herself, maybe those first 2 weeks. But the heavy implication I was given was that Belle did not ride out COVID without a full household staff, perhaps in contravention of all those instructions the rest of us were getting. I don't know. Now, we have a new character to introduce here who has a connection, a very important one, both to Belle and to Amy Griffin, Whitney Frick. Whitney is the vice president, editor-in-chief, and publisher of Dial Press. Whitney is responsible for both Belle Burden's Strangers and Amy Griffin's The Tell. And Whitney still has a job. Here's a little thumbnail profile in case you're wondering why Whitney still has a job. Guess what? She's a member of the same club. The Nerve went and looked up Whitney's New York Times wedding announcement. Whitney's wedding announcement in the New York Times was published April 22nd, 2012. Married in Central Park. I'm reading from said announcement. The bride's mother and her father, Ford C. Frick II, live in Denver. Mr. Frick is the managing editor of BBC Research and Consulting, an economic market and policy research firm. The bride is a great-granddaughter of Ford C. Frick, who was the third commissioner of Major League Baseball from 1951 to 1965. That is a very long tenure. And the president of the National League from 1934 to 1951. That is a very long tenure. The Nerve emailed Whitney on Friday, June 2nd at 12 p.m. to ask about questions surrounding strangers, questions surrounding the towel. The Nerve emailed again at 12:30 p.m. following up with Whitney's boss, Andy Ward, who's the executive vice president publisher for Random House. Dial Press is underneath the umbrella of Random House. No response. Now, fair enough. Fridays, it's summer Fridays in publishing, but people this high up are never off email. You can't be, not at that level. The Nerve followed up with both of them on Monday, June 15th at 9:15 a.m. Andy Ward has an out of office message for that week. We followed up with them both again on June 30th. Still no answer. Wonder why. Wonder why. Now, the key premise of Belle's book is that she knew nothing of their finances or about like her own finances in general, to which I said in our original coverage here on The Nerve, it's bullshit. Just my opinion, because when you come from the kind of generational wealth that Belle Burden comes from, by the way, the husband does not come from money. The husband is a self-made success story. I said back then that when you come from that kind of generational wealth, what you have are an army of accountants and lawyers and money managers who have eyes on your bank accounts and investments from the time of your birth. You get quarterly statements. Your accountants see where all of your money is going, what you're spending. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. But if you're an average, like, woman in America, like struggling to like raise your kids and like work a job or two, like, and pay your bill, like that might sound like feasible to you. Like, oh my God, like her husband's a money manager, like at the top level, and he left her and she knew nothing. It's bullshit. Okay. Much as the Kennedy family for well over a century has had an outside office located in Manhattan that manages the money for all of the relevant Kennedys, the trusts, the investments, the disbursements, what have you. Belle Burden, the Burden family, has much the same. You can find this firm on LinkedIn, the William A.M. Burden & Co. LP. That company, listed as an investment banking firm in New York. They have between 11 and 50 employees. The address is listed as 805 3rd Avenue in New York City. We have been reliably informed that that is the office that handles Belle's $63 million fortune. Now, is all of that money liquid? Of course not. Does Belle Burden have a $63 million cushion independent of whatever her husband made during that marriage? Did her husband leave with any of that money? Yes and no. That is her money. Yes, $63 million. Did her husband take any of it when he left? No. Team Nerve called that number. It's not in service, quote unquote. Belle's attorney of many, many years was also Brooke Astor's attorney. Brooke Astor was the number one socialite / philanthropist in New York City. Brooke Astor kept the New York Public Library running the bulk of her adult life. Brooke Astor's former attorney, also Belle's attorney, was named Henry Christensen III. He died in 2017. I'm reading a little bit from his New York Times obituary, which notes, by the way, I found this fascinating, that Henry's father was a numismatist. That is a word you don't hear every day. I love it. It says so much about this story. Henry's father, Henry was Belle's lawyer, Brooke Astor's lawyer. His father was a numismatist. And if you don't know what that means, you shouldn't. That's a word that is barely used. I had to look it up. It's an analyst of the historical, cultural, economic, and physical characteristics of money. How fascinating. Here we go with Henry. Quote, the author of International Estate Planning, published in 1992, Mr. Christensen was the president of the International Academy of Trust and Estate Law. He taught at New York University and advised the Treasury Department and other agencies on tax provisions related to offshore trusts and combating the financing of terrorism. Meet Belle Burden's attorney. Belle, she's a fawn in the woods. Now, when the Nerve got this thing going, as we did with Amy Griffin, I'm not saying Amy Griffin has done this, but Belle, our source, has reason to believe and informed the Nerve, and I believe it, that she hired a crisis PR firm. Again, the Nerve moves the culture. The Nerve moves the culture. In the wake of the Nerve segment on Belle Burden, you may have seen a lot of comment sections flooded with remarks such as, so what? Her fans don't care if her book is fake. Her fans don't care if her story is a lie or if she's embellishing it. She's got something to say. She's helping women. That came allegedly, reportedly, from a crisis PR firm. And I believe it, because to say like this idea that her fans don't care if her book is fake, she's claiming her memoir is a heartfelt, hard-won lesson of profound suffering that she has put out into the world to help others. If you tell me that's a lie, I've got a real problem with it. Secondly, if you think as a consumer or someone who believed your tale of woe that I wouldn't care that you lied to me and in my estimation stole money from me and time from me, that I wouldn't care, then you think I'm a fucking moron. And I hate you doubly for it. Oh my God, these things drive me nuts. The problem with Belle Burden, in my estimation, just my estimation, she may have been born into generational wealth. She may have lived a life of access and privilege that most of us can only ever dream of. But her real problem is that she is unhappy. And do you know why I think she's unhappy? Because she's not special. And I think the act of writing this book and getting it published and having it like promoted by the likes of Oprah, who, like, Belle was practically levitating out of her chair when she was sitting across from Oprah. She was elated to be there. Now she feels special. Now she feels she's been differentiated and individuated in the culture, and she likes it. She likes being famous. Hey, if she had to get there on a lie, no big deal. And as discussed, you know, Oprah Winfrey took James Fry out to the woodshed on her show years and years ago. He had published a quote unquote memoir called A Million Little Pieces. And in it, it later came out that he had greatly exaggerated his drug addiction, what have you. And then Oprah called him back onto the show to ream him a new asshole and say, how dare you lie to me and to my audience and to America at large, and sit here and apologize and get down on your knees and give yourself 40 lashes. But, you know, with Belle, the Belle Burdens of the world, Oprah doesn't give a shit. Now, there are very, very few instances in which I would say the mourning of a dog on social media is for cynical, reputational purposes. But I think that we here at The Nerve have built enough of a case against Belle Burden and her philosophical commercial grossness that we can safely say she probably did. Because again, this was not long after The Nerve's piece on her, segment on her, posted June 9th, 2026. Charles Blue Davis, He was the very best. I don't know how we will go on without him. Broken heart emoji. I am very sorry for the loss of Belle's dog, but I think it's interesting that she felt she had to publicize this on Instagram. I think it's convenient. 3 weeks later, she posted about getting a new dog on her Instagram. July 1st, 2026, introducing Buttercup Blue Bronson Burden, named after the Knicks hero player Jalen Brunson. There's a lot of working class coding going on there. Continuing from Belle's caption, healing broken hearts wherever she goes, followed by 4 blue hearts. And then finally, this Instagram post, which I did not need this source to elucidate, but this is really hurtful to the husband and to his reputation, because we are reliably informed that the husband, when he moved out of the house, moved a block away in New York City, moved out of the loft. He moved a block away so that the kids could have access to him. But Belle, in posting her daughter's graduation, by the way, the daughter graduated from Ethical Culture Fieldston School in New York. It's an elite high school. And you know who else is an alumnus? Gabriel Hostin. Gabriel Hostin of I'm a former federal prosecutor. This 24-year-old grown man who dwarfs me, he went to Harvard. He teaches blank 4th graders in blank the South Bronx. Fuck yourself. Anyway, back to Belle. She posted this to Instagram about her beautiful, brilliant, brave girl graduating. Brave girl. I've loved these 4 years of high school, just you and me and Chucky, early mornings and late nights watching you grow into the extraordinary young woman you are today. The salient phrase here, just you and me. Excising her husband, excising this daughter's father, and putting it on Instagram, hijacking what should be one of her daughter's happiest days, and to this point, biggest achievement, graduating high school, just you and me. Let's make this about my revenge, my rage, and my resentment, getting back at your father. Belle Burden, keep it coming. Stick around in the culture. You clearly love being famous. The Nerve is always watching. That does it for our Friday edition of The Nerve. Come back and see us tomorrow, won't you? For our mini. We are so thrilled to finally bring this to you. It is a callback to one of our earliest minis that landed with such a resounding thud that in our infancy, in the Nerve's mere infancy, the subject of that original mini took to social media to give us a sort of FU. We took great pride and pleasure in it. You guys, it's made, as Drew Barrymore would say, it's made for you. It's made. By the way, can I just say, I just checked on Drew Barrymore's show yesterday, or like, wait, what day was it? It was Tuesday. She had Zendaya on. Drew Barrymore said to Zendaya, do you ever feel like you're just completely unlovable and unworthy of love, and you're not quite sure if you'll ever really be able to be happy with yourself? And Zendaya looked at her like, holy shit, this is way above my pay grade. Like, I'm not a psychotherapist, lady. I'm an actress. I dress in haute couture on red carpets. Like, oh my God. Another conversation, another time. Anyway, the mini, please come back and see us tomorrow. That will drop at 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. That is where the minis specifically live. 10 a.m. Eastern, YouTube, Saturday mornings. If you haven't already, please check out our Substack. That is our weekly email at thenerveshow.com. Be sure to subscribe. It's full of original, bonus content. Ted's got his column going there. He may be giving an update for Montecito. He's still out in the field. Plus Nerve merch. Grab something for yourself or pick something up for a fellow troublemaker at shopthenerve.com. We will see you tomorrow for the mini, and then again next week right here at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next.